Hello and welcome to another Java and Android Studio tutorial. My name's Cal, and in today's example we're going to be building a simple spinner. We're going to be building a spinner with a custom adapter so we can make it sort of look and feel how we like. Basically, a spinner is just a button that when you click on it, it shows you a list of selectable items. You can then select one of those items and it puts it back in the spinner. Pretty basic, shouldn't take too long. There's a link in the description to all of the source code as well as all of the images I use. So I've just made a couple of user icon images. So yeah, feel free to use them however you like. Creating a new Android Studio project. I'm going to name this Simple Spinner Example. We're using Java and Android Studio version 4.1 in this tutorial. First thing we're going to do is set up our layout in our main activity, so where we actually select the spinner from. Inside here, I'm just going to be creating a few linear layouts using weighting and putting the text view inside. None of this is super relevant to our spinner example, so I'm just going to breeze over it pretty fast. If you have any questions regarding linear layouts or anything I'm doing here where I'm setting the gravity and the text size and the text color, drop a comment and I'm sure someone will be able to help you out. Cool, and next we're going to add in our spinner, so the good bit. We're just going to start by typing spinner and it should be the first one that comes up. I'd like to draw your attention to this Android spinner mode. You've got two options. You've got dialog and drop down. I'm choosing dialog in this example, but feel free to choose drop down. Everything else should work fine. Dialog is basically a pop-up that takes up the whole screen and sort of grays out the background, whereas drop down, you get the drop down menu from the button. Cool, and finally just giving our spinner an ID. I'm calling it spinner example. Next, what I'm going to do is hit file, new Java class, and I'm actually going to define our user class. This might be a optional step for you. You might already know exactly what you're going to put into the spinner, so you can just skip this step. But basically, I'm just going to create a class and initialize a list of users. So I'm just giving our users an ID and a name. I'm going to generate a constructor, and then I'm going to generate the getter and setters for both ID and name. Here I'm going to declare an array list of users. So I'm just calling this user array list. Going to create a getter for that array list as well. And next I'm going to create one more method. It's called init users. And basically I'm just going to populate our array list. I'm just declaring a new user, giving it an ID and a name. And then I'm just going to add that to our array list and then just copy and paste down and change all the values. Just need to make this method as well as the array list static, as they're not going to change and we're going to call them from our main activity class. Speaking of the main activity, heading back in there, I'm just going to call that method, so user.initUsers, and we're going to declare our spinner, so just calling it spinner. And then I'm just going to say spinner is equal to spinner, find view by ID, and then we gave our spinner the name spinner example. Nice. So next we're going to create our custom adapter. So the first thing we're going to do is create both of our files. So I'm just going to say file, new layout resource file. I'm going to call this file custom spinner adapter. The other file we need to create is our spinner adapter. So I'm just going to say file, new Java class, calling it spinner adapter. And then heading into our custom adapter, I've just changed the layout there because that's kind of basically what it's going to be. It's going to be a long, narrow strip. Changing it to a linear layout and the orientation to horizontal. Inside the linear layout, we're going to add an image view, which reminds me we need to add our images. So I'm just going to right click on our drawable folder and say show in Explorer. Just simply drag in whichever images you like into the drawable folder. There'll be a link in the description to these images, so feel free to use them for anything you like. Nice, so we can continue on with our image view. I'm just going to give it a source, so a bit of a placeholder image, and then we're going to set its margin, so there's a little bit of margin to the left and to the top, and set the gravity to center. I'm going to add in a text view, going to give it height, width, and margin. I'm going to set the text color to be black and a bit larger, and then I'm just going to give it an ID as well as our image view giving it an ID. So I've called it name text view and image icon. Nice. So in our spinner adapter class, we're just going to make it extend array adapter and of type user. And then it's going to give you this error message, and we just want to say create a constructor, and it's this third one from the top. So basically we're giving it a context, a resource, and a list of users. So I'm just changing that to users, and I'm going to make it a list of users. So non-null, meaning that you have to pass it in through the constructor. We're just going to go to the top. We're going to declare a layout inflator, and I'm just going to call it layout inflator. And then basically you initialize this by calling layout inflator.from context. So get the layout inflator from our given context. And then what we want to do is just type in get view, and we want this override method of position, convert view, and parent. The other override method we want to implement is get dropdown view, which has a position, a convert view, and a parent. Inside our get view, we're just going to say view. We're going to call it row view is equal to layout inflator.inflate. And then we're going to say r.layout and you give it our custom spinner adapter that we created, so our XML file. And then we're going to give it a root of null and attach to root true. And then we're going to declare a user, and we're just going to say user is equal to get item at position. So get our user based on the position this view is in our spinner. And then we're just going to declare a text view and an image view. And we just need to say textview.set text to the user's name. A way of knowing which user should have which image. So that's what we're going to do next. So just get back into our user class. I'm going to declare a method which returns an int. I'm going to call it get image name. Initially, I'm just going to return our user icon 0 as a default, and then I'm just going to create a switch to go through our each ID and return the appropriate image based on the ID. I just realized it's a pretty poorly named method. It's not really get image name, it's just get image. So I just fixed that up there. And now we can call that from our image view. We can just say set image resource to user.getImage. Finally, all we need to do now is just return our row view. For our get dropdown view method, we can actually just copy and paste what we've done here in the get view and just make a few adjustments. So we're just going to say if convert view is equal to null, then I want to do this row view initializer line. And then we just need to change it to convert view. So anywhere that it's row view, change it to convert view. And then we're going to change that to parent and attach to false. Cool. And just a minor adjustment in our user class, we need to make this get array list user static. Finally, inside our main activity, we just want to say spinner adapter. I've called this custom adapter is equal to new spinner adapter. I'm giving it a context of this. So this activity's context, and then we're just going to give it our custom spinner adapter. And then we're going to say user.getUserArrayList. So that method we just made static. And then I'm just going to finally say spinner.setAdapter with our custom adapter. So that was a simple custom spinner example in Android Studio using Java. I hope you found some use in this tutorial. If you've got any tutorial requests, just leave a comment. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one.